Hello and welcome to my channel. I know you can only see a bit of me, but the camera is set up, hopefully, so that you can see what I'm doing here. Because I had a nice lady ask, how would she make bowls out of the French knitting? So we're going to look at that question. And I was also asked, how do you change colours? So I thought, well, we'll start a new one so that we can see how we do it. I mean, this is just my version on how I would do it, not necessarily everybody's version. So one question at a time. How would I sew these into like making a bowl? So clearly we want to be wrapping it round and sewing it somehow and then coming up. Well, how would I do it? Myself, I would get just a needle and thread. Doesn't help when you put knots in it, but and I would just make a start, literally catching it. You see, I put a knot in that. So I'm just going to catch it like this. Yeah, can you see this? Hopefully. Nothing too fancy. Just around and around without trying to get too many knots in your cotton. Perhaps this is a bit long for the job I'm doing. Oh dear. Talk amongst yourselves while I undo my knots. There you go. So I'm doing it like this. Then, clearly, I'm going to wrap around some more. See, wherever my cotton is. And I'm going to pick up on more of the round. So we want it this way now. And this one. There's nothing neat about my sewing, I admit. You could do it with, which would look better, the actual wool that you're doing your French knitting in. You'd just get a darning needle, one that you can get the wool into, but it's still, I would say, the same sort of thing. And you're doing this on the inside of the bowl. That's what I would like to think. We go around some more. Yeah, let's pick up a bit more over there. And in doing it in the actual wool, you won't see the stitching, which is going to be a bonus because this is looking a bit tatty. But it's just to show you how I would do it. I wouldn't do it with a machine, personally. I'd do it by hand, gradually making my way around. And it will come. Give it time and it'll come. If you only want a small bowl, perhaps, then you'd start coming up. Now, I'm at the wrong end for this, aren't I? Doesn't help. But if I start coming up, let's just get him going in there. I'm going to pick up more of the middle than the edge there because I actually want to have some shape in the bowl. So it's bottom but middle rather than edge on edge. As I say, this is just for example. Do it in the wool of the colour of your French knitting in the first place, and then you won't see your stitching. I'm doing this so you can see the stitching so we can see what we're up to, because we want to be now coming up and round. He's coming, getting some shape to him. Not a lot, as poor Daniels would say. So we'll bring it round some more so that I can pick up again. And now this time I would pick up from the edge to the edge again. So the first one was to get our shape going because we did it in the middle. Now this one is edge to edge because we want it to stand up more and grow as we do it. Is this working for you? Hope so. Hope you can see this nicely. As I say, don't do it in white cotton because it's tatty. Do it in the colour. I've said that, haven't I? Repeating myself. I'm sure you've got the hang of it by now. Where's my bit? I couldn't see where my end was. Right, okay. So now he's coming up. Go round some further. Go round some more. I've left that only because I shall undo this. I won't actually use it as a bowl, so I'm not doing it too seriously. But you're going to come up now because we're coming on top of what we've previously sewn. So we're going top. We want the top again. Make sure it's unwound enough so that you've got the right piece of your French knitting there, because otherwise it could get twisted and it won't sit properly. Yeah. Have you fallen asleep yet? I would have done. But this is how it's coming and going, and we're getting a bowl. You can make your bowl as big or as small as you like, depending on how much you put down as your base. If you just kept going round, you get a bigger base. It's not until you start pulling the rows up on each other that it gets sort of bowl shaped. I come round some more, and again you're on top. Just make sure you're on top and not underneath. Then make sure you're not all twisted up like this one is. But you don't want it twisting on there. You won't get the full impact, will you? There you do again. There we go. So in the top, in the bottom of that one. How's this? Hope this is helping. And it's not, as I say, it's not too neat, but it was a case of how can I show you what I'm doing? Because if I use the same wool, you wouldn't see anything, so you wouldn't be able to see what I'd been doing. Let's have a look. I think we're getting to a place where we can stop on this. Let's just catch that hole up. Right, there we go. I'll put my needle there for a minute. So what you've got is the beginnings of a bowl with your thread in there of obviously your wool that you're knitting it in would help. Not so easy when you're doing one of these multi-wools, I must admit, because how can you match the wool each time with that? How would you do that? Well, perhaps you just get a darker colour and do very small stitches just to join them. I mean, I've done them quite big so that you can see them. But what you're looking to be, or have on the outside, let's just put our tag in there, our end bit. Right, so there's your outside. You can't see your stitching. Well, you wouldn't if you were doing it nicely and slowly. And you're getting a nice bowl. How's that? That's how to do, how I would do, a bowl. It looks like a bird's nest, doesn't it? Nice bird's nest, warm one. Next bit, I've got this one on the go. I don't know if you'd seen this one. This is quite a thick one because it was the bigger, like the toilet roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 peg things in there. And it is quite a thick wool. It's just quite a chunky wool. So that one's on the go. I like the way the pattern is because having the 6 gives you a nice pattern on there. Again, if I wanted to make this one into a bowl, you can do that. See, you just put him round, sew your base, and then you're going to start standing it up and sewing it like that so that it obviously comes up more. Yeah? Right. Did we do a how to start? I think we did. But what I wanted to show you was how to change the colour. That was the other question. How do you change colour? Well, let's have a go. Stick it down there so that I can hold it down there. Start by going round each one, just the once. She says, Mrs. Wembley, hold on to it tightly so that we can get our thing going. We've been round once. We're going to go round again on the 4 or on however many you've got on there so that you've got 2 on there. We're going to take our first one round, our second one over, our third one, our fourth one, and we're going to pull the bottom, and then we're going to start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it, over, still holding that outside bit, over, over, and over. Okay, so that's just our basics on how to get going on these. And you'll find that it will grow pretty quick. You can do this with a hook, you can do it with a pen, you can do it with anything. I just happen to have a nail on there that I can use. Not everybody's got nails. But once you get into the swing of it, you do it automatically. It just comes as a natural thing to do. Pull your bottoms down. Your bottom string, your tail string, isn't it? And this is how we get going. I'd like you to see this. I want to get a bit on there so at least you can see what we're up to. Let's just do a couple more rows and then we'll have a look at changing our colour. There are probably several ways to do it. I'm just going to show you my way of doing it. Now what I'm going to do, scissors, I'm going to cut that one off. I'm going to get another one. Oh no, it's pink again. I like the pink. Now me, I would just tie these together. As I say, there's probably other ways to do it. I'd just tie it together and I would continue. Now when you get to like the next bits, you want to be making sure that your ends are going down in the middle. So I haven't quite made it there. Let's just get going with our, oh, that's a bit tight, isn't it? Seem to have done the on tight. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull my bit down. As I said, I want the knot in the middle of the tube of knitting. So I'll just poke that down in there a bit and I'll continue to make our French knitting bit. I'll pull it out in a minute, and I think we've got enough done that we can see the changeover. And you can see what I mean, and hopefully, she says, crossing all her fingers and her toes, hopefully it will be a smooth changeover of colour. There won't be bits sticking out. Have a look. Need a couple, don't we, so that we can see the difference. How are you all doing today? Hope you're fine. Hope your weather's good. It's getting a bit chillier here in the UK. But then we're used to that. The weather just changes daily here. One minute you've got t-shirts on, the next minute you've got jumpers on. And you're looking for your thermals. Very romantic, thermals. Ah, now you see, I'm just coming out at the end there. You can see how quick this knits up. Let's keep going. With our twos, bottom over top. Getting there. I'll tell you what, since he's coming through, I'm going to pull it off so that we can see what it's done. In fact, I'll do the off bit. Now, what do we say we're going to do? If I can remember how we came off, I think we took one over to that one, and then you take the bottom over that one, then you take that one over to the next one, and the bottom over that one. You take the one that's left over that one, and the bottom over that one, and we should hopefully sort of be knotted off. It's not very neat, I know. Perhaps I should have pulled them tighter as I was going. But what I wanted you to see, I hope you can see this, it's not very light, is it? There was our changeover. See that line there? And if your knot starts coming out, you just need to feed him in a bit more. You can always put him on a darning needle and feed him in. Because mine's so loose, this is why. But that's how I would change colour. It does change colour. It will go in, and you just continue. You can change another colour and another colour. And this is what's happening. So I hope, in my strange way of showing you, that you now know how to change colour. You know how to start, how to finish, and how to make a bowl if you want one. Could even make a hat, couldn't you? I'm sure that would, make a good hat on someone. Be warm, that's for sure. Yeah, it's very warm and it's padded and it's lovely. And then you could put perhaps a crochet flower on it. The ideas go on and on. Anyway, on that note, I should say, just one bit, I use double knitting wool on mine. Unless, of course, I'm doing the thick ones, and then that's like a chunky wool, which is where I have the bigger French bobbiny thing. Oh, I thought to cut that one off. Would help, wouldn't it? There we go. Exhibit A, changing colour. There you go. So on that note, I should say, do subscribe. Do give us a thumbs up. And stay safe, take care. And it's bye-bye for now.